We'll find out today. It serves as the living link between the ancient and modern Olympic Games, continually being practiced and evolving to the present day. The sport of wrestling, it requires strength, endurance, mental toughness, and focus. The focus of fulfilling a lifelong dream, competing for your country and the chance for Olympic glory. For Rulon Gardner and all of America's best wrestlers, Team USA will be decided as the road to Athens begins today. Welcome to Indianapolis, Indiana, where the 2004 Olympic Wrestling Team Trials are underway. Today, these athletes have the chance to fulfill their lifelong dreams of representing the United States in the Olympic Games. But only 17 athletes will get the opportunity to represent America in the sport of wrestling. The question is, who will have the strength and mental toughness to pull through and wrestle their way to Athens? We'll soon find out. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our wrestling coverage. I'm Russ Hellickson, and joining me for USA coverage of this event is Jeff Blatnick, 1984 Olympic champion. And Jeff, we started out with over 200 athletes in contention.
That's correct, and the qualifiers were the national tournament. Whoever won the nationals had an automatic berth in this finals. There were also regional qualifiers. They went through a challenge tournament, whittled down the winner to face the national champion for the berth on the U.S. team.
And of course, the talk of the big match at 120 kilos, heavyweight Greco-Roman, Rulon Gardner and Dramil Byers.
Certainly both are world champions. Gardner an Olympic champion. When Gardner was hurt, Byers came in, not only performed well, he beat the world. And this is a classic clash of titans.
And he's looked pretty good so far in the competition.
Oh, without question. If there's any question to Gardner's health, one, his wrist. Look at the grip here, able to hang on to the big man and finish. What about his foot after having the toe amputated? Terrific leg drive. I think Rulon Gardner right now physically is fine. The question is his technique. And being able to turn people using that gut wrench is what made him so good in Sydney. If he can perform well using technique, in addition to his physical prowess, I don't think there's anybody that can beat Rulon Gardner.
And of course, the debut of women's wrestling, 4 weight classes with medals being handed out.
There are more weight classes competed for in the Women's World Championship, but at the Olympics they'll only have 4. And so many people had to change weights to find a potential slot. 2 in particular, Patricia Miranda and Christy Morano, they both medaled in Madison Square Garden last fall at the World Championships.
A lot to be decided, and also joining us, Len Berman, and he has an update on Rulon Gardner's condition.
Well, Russ, it's somewhat surprising that Rulon Gardner has arrived at this moment. It's even more remarkable that he's still alive. What a tale of woe. All this week backstage, he's been icing his surgically repaired wrist. In a sport like this, hands and arms are kind of important, but that's only part of the story. His medical history, it began in February of 2002. He got lost snowmobiling, suffered frostbite, and had the middle toe of his right foot amputated. Last March, his motorcycle crashed and he wasn't wearing a helmet. He credits his wrestling technique and landings as to why he only suffered bruises. A few days later, he crashed into the bleachers playing basketball, dislocating his wrist. 3 pins were removed just a few days ago. If he doesn't win today at the age of 32, he says he's retiring. If he wins, it's on to Athens, if he can stay in one piece.
Thanks, Len, and we'll all do what we can to keep Rulon safe in the building today. And we are set for our first matchup. This one, the big man in freestyle, 120 kilograms, 264.5 pounds. Right here, Kerry McCoy. He will be wearing the blue singlet. He's already been on an Olympic team for the United States, 2003 world silver medalist, 29 years of age, out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Tolly Thompson, he comes our way out of Cedar Falls, Iowa. He won the Pan Am Championships in 1998 and 2002, but He's got his hands full today. This man has already won one match. This one will decide who goes to Athens. If it is won by Kerry McCoy, he's on his way. Otherwise, Tolly Thompson wins. We could head to another match to decide it.
McCoy scored those 5 points very quickly, Russ, but then shut down. I think you're going to see him a lot looser and continue aggressive attacks.
And how will the scoring take place here? 1, 2, 3, 5 points can be scored by 3 officials on the mat. Most of it takedowns, but we have a lot of back exposure, turning your opponent to his back.
2 points is exposure on the mat. 3 and 5, taking your opponent to his back from the standing position.
We'd like to say it's going to be simple throughout the day, but we have 3 officials. 2 of the 3 must agree. Sometimes we have delays, and we'll keep you updated on the score as it occurs. So right now, in the blue, McCoy, in the red, Thompson, and we are underway.
Well, I saw Thompson score the last 3 points of their first match. It seemed that he kind of solved McCoy's defensive riddle. We'll see if he can get on track early in this match. But it was McCoy who struck first. Tremendous mobility, good leg attack, and very good on the mat, Russ. He's got a great gut wrench.
And of course, one of the other issues that can rise in international wrestling is if the wrestlers are not aggressive, the officials can call one or the other for what's called passivity. Then the other wrestler gets an opportunity to either stay on the feet, continue to wrestle, or to put the other wrestler down on the mat. We see it a lot in international. It becomes a factor. The reason is to make the wrestlers be aggressive. Somebody should be doing something throughout the contest.
And it also creates an opportunity to score points. Passivities are stalling calls. Cautions are penalties.
And of course, all those can be factors in very tight, particularly tie matches.
McCoy, the more mobile of these 2 athletes. Tolly Thompson, much more deliberate with his approach. McCoy, very fluid.
And there we have our first passivity call, and it's going to be against Tolly Thompson. So they'll go down on the mat, what we call parterre position. And McCoy will have the opportunity to try to work some sort of a turn here to get some of those back exposure points. Kerry McCoy was a 3-time All-American in college, as was Tolly Thompson. So these guys are not new to success. There's a gut wrench.
And the criteria is 90 degrees with your opponent's shoulders. McCoy gets in there. And he was able not only to get the 2 for the back exposure, but if you hold him there for a 5 count, you get an additional point. And there's the score now, 3-0 in favor of McCoy. Russ, you mentioned his college career. McCoy was a 2-time NCAA champion for Penn State.
And right now he's an assistant at Lehigh University in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Tolly Thompson also a national champion for the University of Nebraska. 1 minute remaining in the first period. No score or 3 points right now for Kerry McCoy.
And once again, 3 points can end the match in regulation. You need at least 3. McCoy has gotten there. Now let's see if he's going to shut down as he did in his first bout, or if he got that rust out because he's been sitting around watching the challenge tournament, which Thompson won to face McCoy. Maybe now he's a little bit looser. He looked good right there.
They stopped him because they stepped out of bounds, so they're not going to allow the point to be scored there by McCoy. In spite of the fact that coming on top, Tolly Thompson had stepped out of bounds, they bring him back to the center. McCoy, the more experienced internationally, he's been on 4 world teams for the United States, and Tolly being the underdog, probably a factor here, Jeff.
I think so. Tolly actually retired after his attempt to make the 2000 Olympic team, but that fire still burned inside him. He came back, and what a performance through the challenge tournament. Everyone thought Steve Mocco was going to be the one to face McCoy, but Tolly Thompson handled Mocco in the finals of the challenge tournament.
And the big men end the first period with Kerry McCoy ahead of Tolly Thompson 3-0. Coming up, we'll see 2-time world silver medalist Patricia Miranda as she tries to be one of the first women ever to wrestle at the Olympic Games. Later, we'll see the 2003 world silver medalist Cael Sanderson in action. Does the 2004 U.S. national champion Dramil Byers have what it takes to beat the reigning Olympic champion Rulon Gardner? The road towards Athens for all of these athletes continues when the Olympic trials on USA Sports returns. For USA Olympic Wrestling Trials. Second period of this match at 264.5 pounds. That's the heavyweight division. Kerry McCoy there in the blue singlet against Tolly Thompson in the red singlet. McCoy ahead 3-0 as we enter this second 3-minute period. There's a shot and a takedown to extend his lead to 4-0.
And to get him again. Now try to hold him. And he will get the bonus point. 7-0 now your score in favor of McCoy.
Well, he's running away with this one. This one to decide this position on the Olympic team. The heavyweight berth being contested here. He's out ahead 7-0 with still over 2 minutes remaining in the second period, and I don't think there's any question in his mind that he was ready for these matches.
Oh yeah, McCoy has put distance between him and the rest of the heavyweight competition in the United States in freestyle. A superb athlete, a hard trainer, assistant coach down at Lehigh under Greg Strobel, the 2000 Olympic coach. See the speed of McCoy. Tolly dropped in for a leg shot. McCoy just spun around. That's Greg Strobel on the left. Hachiro Uishi, who coached McCoy at Penn State, the assistant coach in the corner.
We see a lot of strategy changes in the wrestling when we get to the end of a match when you're ahead, because, you know, we do see those matches where somebody makes a mistake and gets pinned and ends it all. So the seasoned veterans really don't take chances on doing extracurricular stuff when they're well in command of a match. But the only chance for Tolly Thompson right now is to get after something, and not sure that he's capable of mustering that against Kerry McCoy.
He needs to get chest to chest, something in tight, an upper body throw where you can put McCoy directly to his back and look for a fall. But give Thompson credit. He had retired and he came back. He didn't make the 2000 Olympic team. And the dream stayed with him, burned inside him. He came back and he made it all the way to the finals. But he's running into the toughest athlete right now at heavyweight the United States has. And, you know, McCoy with this kind of performance sets himself up well for a performance in Athens.
Tolly Thompson takes that parterre position, but locking on the gut wrench, moving it up and down the chest here, trying to find a position where perhaps he can turn McCoy, but really not having any success. Of course, sweaty and wet right now, making it even more difficult to get a solid lock. .30 seconds to go. 7-0 for McCoy. Back on a single leg. He's not holding back here.
And he just handles that so easily. Tolly Thompson never even able to get into a full sprawl to defend. McCoy very mobile, powerful. Wow, great performance.
He's done it. He's made the Olympic team. Been a lot of effort and energy put into this moment. He's going to share it with his coaches a little bit before he gets recognized at the center of the mat. They played a role for him, as every athlete will tell you. It's not a lonesome journey. You got a lot of people playing the game with you. So Kerry McCoy wins this second decision 8-0, and very, very dominant throughout this match, taking charge from beginning to end, Jeff.
Well, he started it off with a gut wrench, able to turn Tolly Thompson. And he didn't just roll him through, he held him there for a 5 count, got the bonus point. And he did it again later in the match. And look at that technique, driving the knee under, hipping him through with the bridge, and then the power to hold him there, the confidence to hold him there.
Scoring again on a leg attack. Very, very powerful, very explosive for a heavyweight. He loves this moment. It's been a long journey. He's going to share this one with family. That's his mom. Yeah, you cannot leave mom out. No question that everybody understands a young man sharing the moment with family. It's a great time for all of them. Doesn't get any better than that, Jeff.
I just want something original.
We're back for our next match. This in the women's division at 105.5 pounds. Patricia Miranda will be going against Clarissa Chun. Miranda won the first match by a score of 6-3. She has to claim one more victory to make her first Olympic squad. The first time ever the women will be competing in the Olympic Games. This, of course, the lightest weight division going for an Olympic medal. So this match, an all-important one for both of these young ladies. Clarissa Chun has to win to go for a third match. Patricia Miranda has to win one. There we take a look at Clarissa coming on to the raised mat as we get ready to go underway at 48 kilograms.
National champion, Patricia.
As I said, 4 weight classes will be contested in the Olympics. 48, 55, 63, and 72. There are 6 weight divisions for the women in international competition, but only 4 for the Olympic Games. And of course, this is their debut in Athens.
Miranda with a wealth of experience, 2-time world silver medalist, 3 times on the world team, which is really the same as the Olympic Games. In many cases could be tougher because more entrants are allowed. You don't have to qualify. Miranda in on the leg shot. See how she'll finish this single. Chun sprawling, tying up the head of Miranda, but now she's able to get her head up. Let's see if she can get to a straight back to lift. And she takes Chun down. 1 point for Miranda. First point on the board. Because they went out of bounds, Chun should be put down. And she will be.
Jose Miranda made an arrangement with his daughter when she started freestyle wrestling. He told her, if you keep your grade point above a 4 point, I'll let you do it. And of course she did that while she wrestled, or while she competed while she was at Stanford University. So that was not an easy task for this young lady, but she kept her promise. And of course he's here cheering her on in wrestling as well. On top in the parterre position, trying to get some back points if possible. 2 3-minute periods, same rules as there are for the men.
And she is deferred admission to Yale's law school after this competition, and she's anticipating and hoping the 2004 Olympic.
Clarissa Chun, 22 years of age. She's in the red singlet out of Honolulu, Hawaii, in the resident program, now living in Colorado Springs. Patricia Miranda also working there, 24 years of age. Clarissa Chun, 22, and here we have a shot by Chun, but it's countered effectively here by Patricia, and she will.
And she's trying to turn the corner, Russ, and she might get it now.
Have to get the knees down.
And the touch there. The knee did touch. Referee asking for one. We're waiting for confirmation, and it is confirmed. 2-0 now the score.
So Patricia getting her second point, taking a lead now 2-0 with just under a minute remaining in the first period.
And Patricia Miranda is an aggressive attacker. You can see her trying to score both in the standing and on the mat, putting a lot of pressure on Chun. And even if you don't turn your opponent when you're on top, if you deliver a lot of pressure, you take a little bit of the energy away from that bottom wrestler. So important. I remember Coach Wick, when I was competing, he always said, if you can't turn them, hurt them. Meaning leave a mark, make them not want to be underneath you again.
Miranda in on a nice single leg. Chun trying to counter around. No points here at this juncture. A lot of flexibility in the knees of Chun.
She might get tilted. She is. That's going to be a 2-pointer there. Does it again. Holding her. That's an extra point there. Held it there for a 5 count. She could get a fall. Patricia Miranda
Time running down, only 4 seconds remaining.
looking to pin down an Olympic berth, but she runs out of time.
And the period comes to closure.
Patricia Miranda puts Chun to her back at the closing seconds of that match. Now has extended her lead to 5-0. How close is she to being on the Olympic team, and what does it mean to this young lady? Let's listen.
I'm going to be feeling like it's such a privilege to be the first out there, because I know how long and how many people came before me wanting this moment. You know, I happen to be the lucky one that gets to represent, you know, the U.S. at the first time, the debut at the Olympics, but there's been people working for this for many Olympics.
Well, she's close right now, and this is pretty much a one-sided affair. Patricia Miranda starts the second period ahead 5-0.
And I can think of someone she's talking about. Patricia's probably referring to Tricia Saunders, the multi-world champion, husband to Townsend Saunders, who won a silver medal down in Atlanta. And Tricia has worked awful hard behind the scenes to go ahead and try to get women's wrestling put into the Olympics. And she was really the groundbreaker for the women's program.
And Tricia and Townsend coaches for the women's team in Athens. No point yet. Patricia needs to clear her leg out to gain control, so we've seen no confirmation of any points, in spite of the fact that Chun is down on the mat. There it is. 6 points for Patricia Miranda, extending her lead with 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the second period.
What a great athlete and technician. Leg in now. You can see her cranking the hip of Chun. The hip has gotten to 90 degrees. Now she's working for the upper body to follow suit. If you can control your opponent's hips, you control the opponent. Now she's getting back points.
First point on the board now for Sandy.
What a dominant performance by Patricia Miranda. She's only needs one more point, and this will be a tech fall.
9-0.
Once you have scored the back points, if you hold your opponent in that position for 5 seconds, you get an additional bonus point for the back control. So she's right now at 9-0 over Clarissa Chun. And if she can work another turn here, this match will be over early by technical superiority. A dominant match and a dominant victory right now for Patricia Miranda.
And boy, is she working Clarissa Chun. Nothing was truer than what I said. If you can't turn them, inflict a little bit of your dominance, and she did so in that sequence. Looking for that 10th point to put the match away. Technical fall, or technical superiority. And there it is. That's going to do it. Wow. Patricia Miranda, woman on a mission.
And there's her middle name, her nickname, Truxa. The family and friends call her Truxa. They've all wore the shirt, spell out their favorite name for their favorite to make the Olympic team, and she has done it. Patricia Miranda will advance to Athens. First woman to make the U.S. team. Let's take a look at how she dominated in the finals.
Well, she got on the board first. Here, nice leg shot. High crotch, able to finish. Here, turning the corner. Able to get behind, tosses the leg in. And she was looking for back points all the time she was on top here. Able to split the legs with her body, putting Chun on her back, nearly getting the fall. And she never let up on the pressure, continually attacking. Look how close she was to getting the fall. All you need to do is touch both shoulder blades and it's over. Give Chun credit there for not going down. And here, look at that pressure on top, grinding away, wearing the opponent out. Chun with a half shot. Miranda easily spins behind. First women to make a U.S. Olympic team.
A dominant victory. Let's go to Len with our winner.
Well, you are going to Athens to the Olympics. Your thoughts?
Wow. Sounds good to hear that. And this was a stepping stone, and I feel so thankful for the Olympic berth, you know, to have the moment in time coming up to see if I can beat the best at their best. And just that opportunity is such a huge deal, as you see this weekend.
Well, you've been wrestling against boys your whole life, and now you get to wrestle the girls for Olympic gold.
Yeah, I think that it's really helped prepare me, but it's really nice to be expected to win every once in a while, so I like the change-up.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So Patricia Miranda becomes the first women's wrestler ever to make it to the Olympic Games. Much more when we return. Our U.S. Olympic trials, and nobody's going down easy here in the 84 kilogram, 185 pounds. Cael Sanderson, fantastic wrestler out of Iowa State University, undefeated national champion. We're in the third match in this weight division. He will be going against Lee Fullhart. Sanderson had tremendous record in college and continued on in the international scene. 2003 world silver medalist, three-time national champion. And there you see the only undefeated four-time national champion in NC2A history. Here's his opponent, Lee Fullhart, national champion this year, also a national champion in college. They've split one apiece to get to this point. Sanderson won the first match 3-1. Fullhart won the second match 2-2 on criteria. So who's going to be on the Olympic team in 184 or 85 pounds? We'll decide it right now.
Okay, these two have met a total of 11 times.
Good,
the series 7-4 in favor of Sanderson. And Fullhart looked much better in the second match than he did the first. Able to stop Sanderson's leg shots, put himself in the match, and won it on passive calls. Sanderson was warned to hit with passivity more than Fullhart.
2 3-minute periods in regulation. Sanderson, the aggressor in the last match, as you said, Jeff, got in on the leg a number of times, and I'm sure Fullhart is very aware that he can't let that happen this match.
Yeah, and that's why he likes underhooks. With an underhook in, it's hard to drop in on his legs. If he reaches for Sanderson's head, I think you're going to see Sanderson go under him. Fullhart will keep his hands down by his knees almost all the time when they're separated. When they come in, he'll look for the underhook. Sanderson with that uncanny ability to hang on your head and circle and drop down and get to your ankles. Very unique.
Lee Fullhart in the red singlet out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. He's an assistant coach. Right now you're looking at Debbie and Kelly Sanderson. That's Cael's mom and his wife. They've been here a long time. It's 3 matches to decide who's going to be on the Olympic team. Can wear heavy on you. Minute and 53 seconds remaining. Fullhart on top in the parterre position. Passivity called against Sanderson. That's how we got here.
Chance at a gut wrench for Fullhart, and he was able to do this to Sanderson at the Nationals. That's what won it for him. But not this time.
On their feet, still
We look at Cael Sanderson. He had that illustrious college record at Iowa State, winning without ever being defeated. And people had great expectations in the international scene for him, but he got a set off schedule by a couple of things that occurred, Jeff.
That's correct. In 2001, the World Championships were going to be at Madison Square Garden on September 24th. 9/11 changed that. They were rescheduled in December, but that was Cael's senior year at Iowa State, and he wanted to keep the run going in that undefeated career. The following year, the World Championships were in Iran, and the U.S. State Department denied the U.S. team going due to threats of violence. So he tilt by Sanderson. There's a 2-point tilt, Russ. Twice he got him. Twice he got him.
2 different back exposures. 2 different. They're into it too. Big moment. Bobby Douglas, Cael Sanderson's coach, up on the mat. Here we take a look at how it happened, Jeff.
There was a shot by Fullhart. There was a tilt there, and then he followed it up with that tilt there. 2 separate times.
So Cael didn't get an opportunity to wrestle 2 times. He was a silver medalist in the world in 2003. Fullhart has been a national champion in college. and was the 2004 national champion. He beat Cael Sanderson in the finals, and also beat him here now. And as you said, Jeff, they split a lot of matches, but Cael in control of this match, and they're going to call a 1-point passivity. 1 point and a caution. Fullhart is going to get it. He will put Sanderson down on the mat.
Brother Cody encouraging his brother on. Also an athlete wrestler at Iowa State University.
There are Sanderson boys everywhere.
And there's still one in the pipeline there, so who knows how good he's going to turn out.
Great family, great coach.
You were talking about what happened to Cael in his international career. You got to think, missing those 2 world championships, those would have been the biggest learning experiences he could have had.
Well, we're going off the match, but time is running out. There we go, down to 1 second. No, time has expired. That is the end of the first period, and Cael Sanderson in this deciding match is ahead 4-1.
You club him here and you beat him inside. If you're in here, he can't get underneath you. That's all he's got. Then, hey, like you did the first match, where you steer him by, then his leg's there. When you do that, you got him. Stay focused.
When you're going collar tie-up, he's fighting for the underhook, so work his head and break his balance. You don't have to go to the collar. Hold his head and then collar tie.
Our final match this evening as we present.
They're kind of agreeing with you, Jeff.
It's gonna be you.
I like it. They realize that Fullhart wants the underhook. You got to stop that underhook. Great coaching there from Sanderson's corner. Legendary Bobby Douglas, the Olympian himself.
And Cody, his brother, giving him the most advice of all. 4-1, second period, 3 minutes in duration. This will end in regulation unless Fullhart can really get back into it and tie it up. Otherwise, we're going to be done in less than 3 minutes.
Well, what really iced it is Sanderson getting a takedown right now. Oh, good Lord, there's a good cut on Fullhart's face. Not sure how it happened, but he's bleeding near the right eye.
As they tend to Fullhart, let's take a break. So we're back with more freestyle wrestling. 185 pounds. This is the deciding match. Lee Fullhart had a bad cut above his high. We had to tend to that. Here's a look at where that happened. A little headbutting going on, I think by accident.
Right there.
Right there, they bumped heads. Gashed open the eye. They've taped it up. Hopefully it will remain secure. Right now, Sanderson is ahead 4-1. This is the final period. 2:25 remaining. Fullhart must get after the action here. Sanderson, that 3-point lead can be massive in freestyle wrestling right now.
Well, it certainly can, and with the history that these two have and the close matches that almost every time they enjoyed, it's going to be hard for Fullhart to rally.
Well, he's driving for that inside position, really putting the pressure on Sanderson, but nice little spin there at the end by Cael, and they come back to the center, resume action. 2 minutes remaining.
Sanderson can coast and sit on the lead. Fullhart, he wants underhooks. He wants to get close to Sanderson or have Sanderson take a shot that he can turn into a tilt. That is how Fullhart has beaten him in the past.
Stop on the whistle. Pass a blue. Got to circle and take contact. Red choice. Neutral. Here we go, center.
Pass it, blue. They're going to stay on their feet. Fullhart has elected to keep him on his feet. That bandage now becoming a little bit restrictive on the vision of Lee Fullhart. 26 years old, originally out of Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin. He's got to find a way to get some points on the scoreboard, or his dream of the Olympic position is gone.
Sanderson's coach, Bobby Douglas, is screaming, "You take the shot," meaning Sanderson. I said it earlier, you want to stop Fullhart, put another point on the board.
Hey, control the tie. Hey, go, Cael, control the tie.
Bobby Douglas pretty adamant about controlling the tie, Jeff.
Yeah, I guess so. He was screaming a little earlier than that, take the shot, take the shot. He doesn't want Fullhart to get into the match by sentiment that they feel Sanderson is stalling. He's put 4 points on the board.
Bobby Douglas, one of the Olympic coaches for the United States. We've got 3 or 4 in every style. that'll be going over there to try to get the boys ready to compete against the best in the world. Fullhart trying to stay the aggressor here. 41 seconds going. Sanderson in a little bit of a defensive mode, but probably the right decision for him. He doesn't want to get down underneath and open up any possibilities for Lee Fullhart. Fullhart in on a single leg. Sanderson putting lots of weight on the head.
He should stay right there and not move. That's the best way to kill time. Burn energy off of Fullhart. And it is hard for Fullhart to see. It really looks like it's covering the one eye.
5 seconds.
Last
There it
attempt.
is. After so much success at the college level, more success at the international level, this is a special moment, making that Olympic team. Tough one for Lee Fullhart. You put your heart and soul into it. Individually, you have to bear the weight of the victory or the defeat, and it's not easy to take sometime when you're so committed to a purpose. There's our winner, Cael Sanderson, 185 pounds. It took 3 matches to decide it, but he will be in Athens, representative of the United States, at 185 pounds. Freestyle wrestling coming now. This at 211.5 pounds, 96 kilograms. We got Tim Hartung out of St. Paul, Minnesota. He will be going against Daniel Cormier out of Stillwater, Oklahoma. There we're looking at Cormier, 25 years of age. Here is Tim Hartung. He's the underdog right now. He lost the first match. He has to win this one to keep his dreams alive. Cormier, a 2-time national champion, really has been looking good of late. And earlier we learned a little bit about him. Let's share something about his superstitious attitude.
You believe in omens? Well, earlier this week he was having Chinese food with his friends, and Daniel came up with a fortune cookie. Inside was this fortune: you will have a pleasant journey to a place far away. He's carried that fortune with him throughout the week. Unless he's planning an African safari, this may bode well for him.
Well, let's see whether he can make some meaning out of that fortune cookie. He's done a yeoman job so far. He's already 1 match up. He's got 1 more to go, and he will be the Olympian for the United States at 96 kilograms. And here we go.
Cormier, very explosive, very quick, powerful. And he was dominant over Hartung in that first match, getting a fall at 4 minutes and 47 seconds, but he was winning 6-0 at the time. Front headlock, gets behind, gets the point for the takedown. Let's see what he'll try to do to turn Hartung.
From what I've seen of Cormier, Jeff, it is very hard to stop that explosive and the action and the speed that he has. All he puts it together. It's just tough.
No, speed and power spells danger, and Cormier is dangerous. He's a great lifter. If he gets a hold of your hips, you're going up in the air. And that tape around Tim Hartung's left elbow is a result of a gut wrench in their first match, in which that elbow got folded in a bit. But Hartung able to continue. Gritty athlete.
Cormier won the first match by fall in the second period, was very dominant throughout the match. Once again, front headlock coming in, trying to get around, and does succeed. It puts the second point on the scoreboard, leads 2-0.
Looks like he's going to try a gut wrench here. He's got the hands locked. Gut wrench is when you lock around the torso of your opponent. And the object's to go into a bridge. Beautiful. Beautiful turn. 2 more for Cormier. And he drives him out of bounds. Hartung will go back down.
Well, here we're looking at Jared and Corey Saunier. They're two childhood friends. They actually were at his first practice that he ever had in his life. They've been friends throughout, so they wanted to be here to share this special time with their good friend Daniel Cormier. They're into it. They're breathing heavy too. They're getting conditioning just cheering. 4-0 lead for Cormier.
It was quite a story last year at the World Championships. Cormier lost a daughter, and in that condition, you know, you would wonder, would he ever go and compete at the World Championships? And he felt it was the right thing to do, and he did compete at the World Championships. And I'm sure the memory of his daughter continues to drive him.
Well, a little bit of an injury here. We're taking a time. Caden, his daughter, is 3 months old. She was killed in a automobile accident, and he has used that as inspiration and motivation for him. He thought his life would really not be able to go on after she passed away, but time has healed it a little bit. But he really makes reference to her a lot, is motivated by her memory, and uses it to his advantage. Tremendous emotion in this sport. We have to get our motivation from a lot of different directions. A sad story, but use it to your advantage. A shot here by Hartung.
No score there. 4-0 your score. Cormier in control. Still 50 seconds left in the first period.
45 seconds to go. First period 4-0. Dominant control once again, as we saw in the first match. So really nothing has changed. Cormier on a mission here to make the Olympic team in this weight division.
Hartung just not able to get any offense against a constantly moving Cormier, and it's tough to hit a moving target.
Time running down. Cormier doesn't need to be aggressive at this juncture. He's well in control of the match. We'll get a 30-second break here before they come back for the second period. Shot by Hartung. Oh, mistake. Give him another point at the end of the period, Jeff.
Only a couple seconds left when that happened. Cormier's so tough.
Cormier very aggressive. We talked to him earlier about what he thought about his style of wrestling.
I like to move guys. I like to set a high pace where not many guys my size want to wrestle very hard. We kind of want to stand around, you know, in America and in the world. Guys want to kind of stand around and, you know, kind of jockey for position, whereas I want to just get after it for 6 full minutes.
Well, he has been getting after it to the tune of 5 points. In control here as we start the second 3-minute period in this weight class, 211.5 pounds. He already won the first match, so he wins this one. He's on the Olympic team. Tim Hartung in the red. No slouch here. He's a tremendous wrestler. He's been a national champion actually 2 times for the University of Minnesota. Right now lives in St. Paul, Minnesota, originally out of Durand, Wisconsin. Of course, Daniel Cormier out of Lafayette, Louisiana, wrestled for Oklahoma State University, and he didn't enjoy the same success. He was a national finalist for Oklahoma State, but he's really come on of late here in international wrestling.
Well, he's peaking later in his career. We've seen several athletes do that. May not enjoy the greatest collegiate career, but continue to improve and make their mark internationally. And Cormier is just a complete package. Hartung with an opportunity, and there you see that uncanny ability with that movement and body that Cormier just wiggles out, turns it around, and scores a point. 6-0 now your score, Russ.
Cormier was 5th in the 2003 World Championships, and I know he wants to jump up in that placings. He's had his eye on a medal for a long time since the New York World Championships. Really doing a great job here of displaying lots of technique and a style that I think is going to be very hard to beat in the Olympic Games.
Now, if he keeps moving like this and keeps this kind of an offense going, he's a dangerous man.
Really doesn't have a weakness. He's great on top in the parterre. He's great on the bottom and protecting, and we've seen him have a tremendous offense as well as a defense when he's in trouble. His buddies, they're a part of the game. Minute and 18 remaining in the second period, so looking real good here for Daniel Cormier. Timmy Hartung has a big challenge in front of him if he wants this to go any further. He's got to really get after it. Almost needs a miracle. 1 minute.
Now Cormier looking very dominant. There's another takedown, 7-0. He is not at all slowed down on his feet. Constant motion, constantly pulling on the head of Hartung, unbalancing him. He's relentless.
(7-0) right now for Cormier. 35 seconds. It's running down. Almost Timmy Hartung right now almost conceding. He's really not going after any sort of an attack, and Cormier enjoying a extensive lead here, 7-0.
As soon as he got in that upper body, John Smith, sitting in his corner, the great American wrestler, screamed, "Get out of there, clear it," and he immediately did.
Well, the fans reacting now, and I'm sure his friends and family will get into this one. Special moment.
Ladies and gentlemen,
John Smith is coach. Corey and Jared Sanier. Got to be a special moment for all of them. Their friend, Daniel Cormier, has made the Olympic team for the United States, 211.5 pounds. He is your winner. He's on the Olympic team. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from this match, Jeff.
Cormier had dominated both matches against Hartung. First point here, front headlock. He tried to get around the knee and use a tilt, but settled for the takedown there. Here's another good look at it here. Looks like he's going to take him backwards for the tilt, but just spins around behind. And a nice gut wrench going now here, getting the hips under, arching through, exposing the back of Hartung. That was a 2-point exposure. And then when Hartung tried offense, he met stiff defense. Cormier spinning around behind. And yet another one here, just snapping the head, turning around, coming around behind.
Well, the emotion of the moment gets shared by everybody, and especially those long-term friends. Let's go to Len with our winner.
You know what, Daniel? You're going to go on a pleasant journey far away.
Exactly what the fortune said. I'm happy. I wrestled hard, had a tough competitor, and I just went out there and tried to set the pace of the match and continue to wrestle and keep scoring.
Where is that fortune?
It's in my bag in the back.
What does it mean to you to be representing your country?
Everything. I mean, I set a goal in front of me when my daughter passed, and I said I was going to be on this Olympic team, and I was going to go get a medal, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to let her down.
I have one suggestion. You might go for some Chinese food when you get to that.
Exactly.
All right, congratulations.
Hey, go USA. We're going to bring home some medals.
Right.
Thank you.
Well, there's another Olympian. He's on his way to Athens. Daniel Cormier, 211.5 pounds. We've got a lot more wrestling coming your way, including the big one coming up later, Rulon Gardner. He'll be going for the Olympic team. Trials on USA, and we're joining the second period in the women's division, 158.5 pounds. Takara Montgomery and Christy Morano. And this is not Christy Morano's normal weight class. She has moved up a division and made some real sacrifices along the way.
I was working out with my coaches, and they're like, you know, if it's going to get close, you know, we're going to have to do this. And I said, you know, do whatever you want. Just get me on weight. And unfortunately, they cut my hair, and I didn't make weight.
Well, you do what you have to do. She moved up from the 138 3/4 pound division. And right now, she is behind in this match, 3-0.
Takara Montgomery hitting this textbook running double, slamming Morano to her back. That was a 3-point move. She enjoys a 3-0 lead.
Both of these wrestlers very, very successful in international wrestling. So this is one that nobody really anticipated until Christy Morano did not make weight. Takara Montgomery has been a 4-time national champion. She's been a 3-time world team member. She's been a 2-time world silver medalist. But, of course, Christy in the red singlet here has been a 7-time medalist. She has placed every time and earned a medal that she has been in the world competition.
Well, Marano hits a takedown. It's now 3-1. And Marano really put herself behind the 8 ball to try to make weight, go to that extreme measure of cutting hair. She couldn't get down there, so she moves up a division. She's no longer wrestling the people she trained for. Montgomery is a very talented, big girl, and she's much bigger than Marano. So Marano not only didn't make weight, she had to go through the challenge tournament as well. And that puts out a lot of energy. So you'd have to think Marano really put a lot of stress on herself mentally and physically just to get to this point.
Oh, and she's taken down again. That will give Montgomery a 4-1 lead. This is the second match in this series, and if Montgomery wins this one, she will be on the Olympic team, and Christy Marano will not compete in Athens.
In their first match, Marano jumped out to a 6-0 lead. Montgomery came roaring back, tied it up 6-6. It went into overtime where Montgomery won. So Marano really in a hole here, needing to win this match. She trails 4-1, and it seems as though Montgomery is gathering steam.
2 3-minute periods. This is the second 3 in this weight class. 158.5, the heaviest weight division for the women. Last one to be contested here. Christy Marano really sacrificed more than her hair. She's moved to Colorado Springs. Her father actually sacrificed. Conrad moved out to Colorado Springs to take care of her daughter Kayla while she trained. So there's been a lot of sacrifice, and it could all be for naught here if this match ends with Montgomery in the lead. But a great effort by Takara Montgomery. She is great in her own right and not willing to give up this position.
Well, she gave up some position, wrestling position right there. Marano with another takedown, 4-2 now the score. Montgomery just 21 years old, and I wonder what she actually thought when she knew she had to take on the 7-time world medalist, Christy Marano. Well, she's rose to the occasion and done well with that challenge. Conrad, Christy Marano's dad, watching, anxious. But thus far, it's been Montgomery.
And we're down under a minute remaining in this second and deciding match. Christy Marano and Takara Montgomery really went at it in that first match. Montgomery winning 9-6. She came from behind to win, but right now she has a lead 4-2 here, 38 seconds to go.
And this is not a good position for Montgomery to sit in. On her knees, head down. Marano working her well. She really wants to turn that corner, get behind. That could have been a big point for Marano. Give Montgomery credit there for turning and continually facing her opponent, not giving up that point.
So Montgomery stalemates the situation. No score, 4-2 still for Takara Montgomery as we close down. 26 seconds remaining in the second period, and this one will end in regulation. Well, there's 1 point takedown for Marano.
Now she's shutting down right now, Montgomery is. She's willing to play defense on the mat, and this is where her bigger body really pays off. It's very hard for Marano to turn her. She can't really get anything going there. So Montgomery feels safe.
And trying to work a move, but no success. Time runs out, and Christy Marano, the most successful women's wrestler of all time, will not make it to Athens, but this young lady, 21-year-old Takara Montgomery, has earned the Olympic berth in this weight division. Happy for one, a sad moment for the other, but the trials decide it all. Takara Montgomery, your winner at 158.5 pounds. Women making their debut in Athens.
Takara Montgomery really dominated this match from the opening whistle. This beautiful double leg steamrolled Christy Marano's dream of making an Olympic team. And here she does it again. Textbook. Montgomery really has a bright future in this sport.
Well, she left little doubt, winning 2 out of 2, and with more Olympic wrestling berths yet to be determined, we'll be back with a lot more. This is the season to watch. Anthony Michael Hall returns for an all-new season of USA's hit original series. Don't miss the season premiere of The Dead Zone tomorrow night at 10 only on USA. We are well underway in our U.S. Olympic wrestling trials from Indianapolis. A total of 17 athletes will make up the USA Olympic wrestling team to go to Athens. Well, let's take a look at some of the other matches in this competition. 55 kilograms, 121 pounds. Stephen Abbas, Fresno, winning the competition in this weight division.
Henson, the silver medalist from 2000, came back out of retirement, but Abbas beat him 2 straight.
And at 132 pounds, Eric Guerrero, one of a trio from Oklahoma State to make the team.
And Guerrero, who has been the #1 man the past couple years, handled Zadick, beat him 3-1 and 5-2.
And a Cowboy teammate for Guerrero, Jameel Kelly, making the team at 66 kilograms.
Well, there was a surprise in this weight class. Jared Lawrence of Minnesota, #5 seed, made it to the finals. It went all 3 matches, with Kelly winning the decisive rubber match 5-1.
So Jameel Kelly advances to Athens. At 163 pounds, the veteran Joe Williams out of Iowa City earns the Olympic spot. And for the women at 121 pounds, Keela O'Donnell surprises Tina George and goes to Athens.
Tina George, the national champion, lost both matches by fall. O'Donnell wrestling well.
And at 63 kilograms for the women, Sarah McMahon gets back on another international team for the USA.
And she totally dominated Elena Berube, winning both matches by technical superiority.
And at 60 kilograms for Greco-Roman wrestling, Jimmy Grunwald gets back on the Olympic team again.
Grunwald, the 2000 Olympian, able to beat Joe Warren twice, 5-3 and 3-0.
And at 66 kilograms, 145.5 pounds, Oscar Wood out of Fountain, Colorado gets the job done.
Well, there's a changing of the guard here. Kevin Bracken, the 2000 Olympian, he went down twice by fall and 3-0.
And at 84 kilograms, 185 pounds, former University of Nebraska wrestler Brad Behring takes the spot.
Many of the Greco coaches I spoke to felt Behring was wrestling the best of all the Greco athletes. He beat Jake Clark 5-1 and 3-1.
So Brad Behring gets a trip to Athens. And at 96 kilograms, 211.5 pounds, Garrett Lowney gets back on the Olympic team. He won a bronze medal in 2000. He's out of Kaukauna, Wisconsin. And a crowd showed up from his hometown to cheer him on.
Lowney's had a fight off injury and surgery. He took on Justin Reese, and these were 2 tough overtime matches. Lowney winning them both.
We've got plenty of weight classes yet to be decided, including 55 kilograms, where Dennis Hall, already a 2-time Olympian, will be going at it at 121 pounds against Brandon Paulson, a friend of his. We'll see him in action when we return.
I have visions. Something is going to happen.
If you've never seen The Dead Zone, this is the season to watch.
She's still alive. I can feel it.
Tomorrow, USA's hit original series returns.
We're going to find her.
New visions, new stories, new revelations.
Will this man destroy the world?
This summer, the truth will finally be revealed.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Anthony Michael Hall and 24 Sarah Winter star The Dead Zone. New season premieres tomorrow at 10 on USA.
This one's for par. It's in the hole.
These guys are good. Oh, so close.
You'll only see this stuff on USA.
His drive splits the fairway.
Holy cow.
Phil Mickelson, Sergio Garcia, and the world's best golfers come to New York for the 2004 Buick Classic. Starts Thursday, live at 4.
Welcome back, and we still have some decisions to be made of who will be on the U.S. Olympic team right here at this weight class, 55 kilograms in Greco-Roman. Dennis Hall and Brandon Paulson. Dennis Hall won the first match 3-2. Brandon Paulson won the second 3-1. This is the tiebreaker. At the end of this match, somebody is going to be on the Olympic team, and somebody's going to be very disappointed. But the heart and grit and determination can be seen in both of these wrestlers. Right now, as we begin the second period, Brandon Paulson is ahead 2-0, and here's how he got there.
Well, due to a passivity call, Dennis Hall was put down, and right there you saw Brandon Paulson. Beautiful execution of a gut wrench, and that was a 2-point maneuver, and he enjoys a 2-point lead.
Set.
Both of these wrestlers extremely experienced. That doesn't happen all the time, and you've got to understand how much respect they have for each other. Brandon Paulson calls Dennis Hall one of his heroes. Dennis Hall has been a 10-time national champion. Brandon Paulson has been a 3-time. Both of these guys have a silver medal from the Olympic Games. Dennis Hall had essentially retired and came back when he had the opportunity to drop a weight division to go to 121 pounds, and it's all come down to this one match to decide it all.
That was a huge cut for Dennis Hall. Most people thought he'd come in at 60 kilograms, but he made the choice before Las Vegas and the Nationals, the start of the Olympic qualifying procedures, to go down to 55. And at 33 years old, that takes a lot of discipline, a lot of determination. They were teammates in '96, Russ. Who would have thought so many years later that they would wind up wrestling one another for a spot for an Olympic team?
Great friendship, but it's got to get out of the way here for one of them to represent the United States in this weight class, and I'm sure they'll battle to the end to decide who's the best wrestler at 121 pounds. Tremendous relationship between Brandon Paulson and his dad, Doug. Doug is always in his corner, travels with him across the world. I remember in the Olympic Games when Brandon won the silver medal. After the match, Brandon was screaming for his father. He was signing some autographs and getting a lot of accolades from a lot of fans in the crowd, but he wanted to see his dad. He just loves what his dad brings to the emotional relationship that the two have, and I think they motivate each other, and obviously having him in the corner is an indication of how important it is to Brandon for his dad to be there. Dennis Hall on top right now in the parterre position. He's behind 2-0. Minute 25 seconds remaining in the second and final period.
Oh, looking to try to get a body lift. He's got it going.
Oh my, what power. What power. Can he convert? Well, he's a little low on the legs. He's got to relock.
Ooh, out of bounds. I don't think he's going to get a point there, but what an effort by Dennis Hall. What an effort.
Holy cow, that's a lot of work to get nothing, Jeff. A lot of work.
Let's look again. Hall picking him up, and that lock is slipping, and that's good adjustment by Paulson. Call that undulating, and he was able to get that grip to come down, and right there you saw no back exposure, and because he had contact with the mat, no lift or appreciation point.
Well, we're under a minute. Remember again, though, in international wrestling, one of the wrestlers must have at least 3 points to end it at the end of regulation, the end of 6 minutes. Nice!
That's a 3-point move. Dennis Hall now has the lead, Russ.
Take a look at that move. Wow, Jeff.
Unbelievable front headlock, and he arcs it over the top. That's a 3-pointer from the standing position directly to the back.
Did you see the smirk on Brandon Paulson's face? He's friends. He knew that was a great move. Even though he's down, he appreciated it. 3-2 right now for Dennis Hall. 41 seconds remaining.
Paulson may try a stand-up right here. Here he comes.
And he gets one point. That's going to tie it back up. These guys do not want to give up, Jeff. They are going to fight to the very end. That's going to be 1 point. Well, it's not confirmed.
They're going to review it. They're going to review it. The question is, was there a threatening hold that Brandon Paulson escaped from?
If he did, if it was, he gets 1 point. Rick Tucci looking at the move.
Okay, stop.
They're looking at the monitor there, trying to decide whether or not the call should be made or whether it stays same score 3-2.
Reverse body lock. Now he comes up too high. Now,
was struggling to hang on top.
Okay, give him a point.
Gonna give it to
There it is.
right here. They deem that Dennis was attempting a move, and Paulson escaped from it. That fits the criteria of escaping from a lock. So 3-3 your score.
23 seconds to go. They both got 3. They haven't decided anything yet. This is our third match, and it's going to the wire. What a great effort by both of these athletes, Jeff. A lot of heart here.
Neither one wanting to quit at all. Neither one giving an inch. You may catch them, but you're not going to put them down.
So Hall and Paulson take it to overtime. We'll see more when we return.
Take your trading to new heights at Power E-Trade. With $9.99 stock and options commissions and introducing per contract fees as low as $1.25. Go from strategy to trade in one click with new customizable complex option chains. If you could get all this, plus our 2-second execution guarantee on the #1 site for active traders, why on earth wouldn't you? Call today for 50 commission-free trades at 1-877-E-TRADE2 or visit getpoweretrade.com.
Hey, Frankie, you know that race for president of beers?
Yeah.
Miller had to drop out. They're disqualified.
Why?
Well, as it turns out, Miller was bought by South African breweries. And you would have to be American to run for president of beers.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Miller ran all those commercials for nothing, huh?
What a shame.
Yeah.
But the spokesperson, he found a new job.
Oh, yeah? What's he going to do?
He's hosting a reality show called Shoes and Socks.
Oh, he should go far with that.
I love my digital camera.
I love digital.
I love my digital camera.
But you know what? There's something missing.
Am I missing something? The best part of photography. Pictures.
Pictures.
Pictures like they used to be.
Colorful, beautiful, awesome. Pictures.
Where are my pictures?
Introducing the Kodak Picture Maker digital kiosk. Now it's easy to get real Kodak pictures from any digital camera.
Pictures, please.
The 260 horsepower supercharged Grand Prix Comp G. The new 275 horsepower GXP. And now, the 350 horsepower GTO. Pontiac, fuel for the soul.
You think putting me behind some bushes phases me? I'm an expert. Isolation keeps me focused on keeping you comfy. Don't even think about it, dog.
For unmatched expertise, Carrier stands alone.
I really hate that guy.
In fact, our Puron refrigerant and expertise makes Carrier trusted in more homes than any other brand.
Anyone got a towel?
Carrier, turn to the experts. And right now, get up to $1,000 cash back on select systems when you turn to Carrier for cool cash rebates.
Well, welcome back to Indianapolis, Indiana, and we are in the midst of a real marathon here. Brandon Paulson and Dennis Hall have done everything possible to decide this match. We're in an extended overtime. What an exchange of action.
Well, the score is tied 3-3 at the end of regulation, and they both desperately tried to put points on the board. You're looking at 2 Olympic medalists giving it their all, but everything they tried either went out of bounds or did not meet the criteria to put a point up on the board.
15 minutes have elapsed already. Is there any other way that the officials can get involved? There's really nothing that they can do to decide this.
Only a penalty. If somebody flees out of bounds or does an illegal move, you can penalize them, and that would count. And you see Dennis Hall with those vicious head snaps. Paulson able to absorb them, but boy, that makes your back burn at this stage.
They've almost got to be numb, Jeff. It's been so long of the pounding and the driving. It's got to be surreal for the two of them.
I guarantee you both have been through what they call the grinder match that national coach Steve Frazier implements in practices. And they'll put half an hour up on the board and make them just wrestle the entire time. It may not be at match intensity, but it gets you used to going that long.
And I think we have
Come on. Deep breath.
They're bringing them back together.
Deep breath.
Official right now brings them back together. I don't know why they stopped it. Was there a bruise or a bump? Or
There might have been incidental head contact. And you heard Doug, Brandon Paulson's father, yell, "Take a deep breath, take a deep breath," willing his son on. Paulson in with a deep underhook right arm, but gosh, their bodies are so wet from perspiration, it just slips off. Somebody's going to have to change levels and go down and unbalance the other, maybe get a point that way.
When you're this exhausted, though, how do you change your frame of mind? Because obviously somebody's going to have to take a chance here. Somebody's going to have to go after something that's a little bit unique and different. But how do you change your mind when you're out there on the mat right now, unwilling to give up what you fought for so long for?
Well, what you do is you go with what you think is going to work, and if you feel you can dominate position, that should be enough to do it.
No.
Check.
They're going to look at the... Dennis Hall thinks he's won.
I don't know. They're going to go to the video to take a look at that, but internationally, I know that would have been good enough to win the match. Paulson now, I think, is understanding that that was probably a point, and I just saw it confirmed. Dennis Hall's going to win it. What about? What about?
Thank you, guys. Now you go. Now you go. Baby. Awesome, man. Awesome.
Well, we're seeing the two extremes of competition. We're seeing two extremes. Here they share teammates, friends. One is so elated.
Sorry, man.
Well, one wrestler's so excited, the other one and his family so distraught. That's the ultimate outcome of competition. That's his father, Doug. Got to be so emotional. This will be tough on Brandon Paulson. He's going to be at the other extreme of emotion. He's fought so hard to get to this point again, to be on the Olympic team, and it's not going to happen. His teammate, this friend, Dennis Hall, comes back at the age of 33 to make the Olympic team again at 121 pounds.
I'm going up on my wife.
Good job, buddy. I'm going to go find my wife, he said. That's Christine.
Here we go. Right there.
Well, Jeff, what can you say? We've never seen one like that in all our years of covering wrestling.
Not at the Olympic trials we haven't. I can't believe it. I mean, that was, what about? And the grit that they both showed, the courage, the conditioning, the athleticism. You didn't want to see a loser.
Where's the little man? Hello, everybody.
Tyler and Brandon, his sons, he's sharing the moment with them. That was his wife, Christine. Your family sacrifices so much when you train at this level, particularly the number of years that man Dennis Hall has been at it.
I was going to be working, going after me. I love you guys. Thanks for following me. Thank you guys. We're going after, buddy. You can tell your friends.
Yeah, you're going to Athens, baby. That's what he said. Dennis Hall going back to the Olympic Games, this time at 121 pounds at the age of 33.
So when you touch people, I see their past or their future. Yeah, but you have to touch them. Right. Can you wear gloves? No. Do you have to hold, or can you poke quick jabs? Or what if you just hover nearby? Hovering.
I've never hovered, actually.
Okay, what if you used your cane or a fork as a conductor?
Listen, I would love to shake your hand, but the whole, it's a little much right now.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's better, really. What a weirdo.
The most infamous serial killer in the world is back.
Hello, Clary.
Anthony Hopkins, Julianne Moore in the next chapter of The Silence of the Lambs. Good evening. The USA Network premiere, Hannibal, tomorrow at 7 on USA.
Thinking about refinancing your home? Wondering how or where? We recommend instead that you think about who. Call AmeriQuest now. You'll get your own personal loan specialist.
Whenever you call me, I'll be there. Whenever you want me, I'll be there.
Someone who knows you are more than your credit score. You'll get custom-tailored loan options, like paying off those high-interest credit cards and lowering your monthly payments. And you'll have someone to support you from start to finish. We even do the paperwork.
Whenever you call me, I'll be there. Whenever you need me, I'll be there.
For a completely different refinancing experience, call 1-800-AmeriQuest now or go to AmeriQuest.com. AmeriQuest, the company that knows you are more.
Every Saturday on Before and Afternoon Makeovers.
We have a terrific transformation in store today. Check her out.
And movies that make you feel great.
Wow.
This week, Winona Ryder and Anne Bancroft star in How to Make an American Quilt. Before and Afternoon, today at 12 on USA. Presented by Koresh Shimmering Body Wash.
And we welcome you back to Indianapolis, where we've just witnessed an amazing match that just refused to end, and both wrestlers have graciously agreed to be here together. It was amazing. How do you put it into words?
Yeah, it was a hell of a match, one of the hardest matches I've ever fought, the longest match for sure, and against a great friend of mine, and you know, he's a hell of a competitor. Sad that only one of us get to go because we both could win a medal, you know, but you know, we had to face each other, and if he would have won, I would have patted him on the back and said good luck, you know, because he beat me one time already today. You know, luck of the draw, I guess.
How do you put into words what you're feeling right now, Brandon?
Well, it's, you know, you train your whole life for this. And, you know, we both wanted the gold medal in Olympics, and that's why he went down to my weight, and you know, I think he can do it, because I know in my mind I was the best wrestler in the world, and he beat me. So it's, you know, he better win the gold medal or he's in trouble. You know, right now I'm just totally exhausted because we gave it all we had.
Have you ever been through anything like this in your life?
No, and
just our grind matches out in Colorado.
Only when we practiced together the last 8-9 years, and so we felt it in the practice room is about it.
So we knew what it was like, but we never thought it would happen in a match.
No, we never thought we'd wrestle each other, but he had to make it happen.
All I could say is congratulations. You're showing a lot of class by interviewing here with us afterwards, and best of luck to both of you, and good luck in Athens.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Good luck, buddy.
Well, how can you top that effort? Two great friends really went at it, Jeff.
This is a wrestling classic, one for the ages. Not only because of the duration of the bout, not only because of the excitement generated, but these were teammates in '96, both winning Olympic medals.
One was ecstatic, one is dejected. They both wanted to be there. They've shared a great life together in the sport of wrestling. One will go to Athens. This one sharing the time with his family. One will not. But the Olympic saga continues for Dennis Hall. Coming up next, the grand finale. Can Rulon Gardner get past Ramil Byers and make it to Athens? We'll find out next.
Hi, I'm Donald Trump to talk to you about the remarkable convenience of the Visa check card.
Everyone knows the Visa check card's directly connected to the money in your checking account. Oops. But if your card's lost or stolen, did you know you're not liable for fraudulent purchases?
Got it.
And you'll get every single cent of that money back? Guess not. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
And I thought he was doing so well.
So anyway, my brother David comes over for dinner last night with his new fiancée, and she's very nice, except here's the best part. She's 4 inches taller than him. Can you believe it?
Now I go the extra step with my new Stepometer. It comes in the new Go Active Adult Happy Meal along with a bottle of water and one of 4 premium salads, only at McDonald's.
And you'll never believe what was stuck to his pants.
Hey, LeBron.
Oh, what up, Thirst?
Brother, how about a tour of your new crib?
Oh, come on in. This is my bedroom?
Right. King-size waterbed.
Game room.
Plasma screen, blah, blah, blah.
And this is the kitchen.
Whoa! Oh, no, you didn't. Crisp, clean, ice-cold, lemon, lime, Sprite, always at your fingertips.
Check it out. You crying?
It's just so beautiful. Show him my motto. Can a brother get a minute?
Few relationships in life are more important than the one between you and your Michelin tires. Rugged, long-lasting Michelin truck tires. Michelin, because so much is riding on your truck tires.
Victor Navorsky arrived as a tourist.
Where do I buy the Nike shoes?
But one man
He has no nationality, no country.
is standing between him and America.
You will not set one foot in the United States.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
On June 18th,
Where is it? Get the cameras.
Will somebody tell me what was going on down there?
Full house.
Tom Hanks, Catherine Zeta-Jones,
You could learn something from Dvorsky.
from director Steven Spielberg. The Terminal, rated PG-13, starts Friday, June 18th.
That's it! Oh my! Rulon Gardner has upset the king!
That's the one thing about wrestling. One little mistake, one little decision can cost you everything.
We welcome you back, Greco-Roman Wrestling, and this is the match that everybody has been waiting for. I'm sure no one has left the building. Rulon Gardner, Dramil Byers, 2 world champions. You're looking here at Rulon Gardner, 2000 Olympic gold medalist. Who can forget that match with Alexander Karelin, Dramil Byers? These 2 guys are very good friends, but they have to decide who will be an Olympian with this match. Rulon Gardner came into this thing as the underdog, and we asked him about that.
That's all right. That's all right. I think that's the way my life has always been. I was the youngest of 9, so 9 children growing up on the farm. So I'm used to people always looking at me being below them and me always having to look upstream and seeing who's above me. And that's exactly the way I want it. You know, I don't want to go out there and have everybody shooting at me. You know, Byers is now sitting at the top, and then I'm just one of the lucky ones that get to fight to see if I can take him on and make it to the team.
And it has been a battle for him, but he has shown the form that has been a consistent part of Rulon Gardner's career. You can't keep this man down. When he's on top, he's pretty impressive, but when he loses the foothold, he's pretty intense at getting it back. And Rulon Gardner ready right now. He's 1 match up on this man, Dramil Byers. They have a great friendship going between the 2 of them, and they've been willing to share that with a lot of people. And we talked with Dramil about it earlier.
The relationship Rulon Gardner and I share is, you know, just like 2 guys that meet every day in practice, see each other, battling each other. We both have our own goals that we have to reach and obtain, you know, but when it's us against them, you know, I have no problem getting his back. He has no problem getting my back.
Well, friendship or not, this match can decide who will be the Olympic champion, and I'm sure it's vitally important to the 2 of them. They'll still be friends after it's done. One of them's got to win, one of them's got to lose. Right now, Rulon Gardner is 1 match up. He wins this match, he's on the Olympic team. The only way that Dramil Byers can get into this is to win 2 in a row. Greco-Roman wrestling, all upper body. A lot of work will be put forth by these 2 men to try to get inside control position here, Jeff.
Now Gardner has a 16-2 edge in head-to-head matchups, but Byers able to defeat him at the national finals. But Gardner coming back strong in their first bout, able to win that one 2-1. And they're very close, very, very close.
One down.
Gardner may have a little bit of an edge dominating the clinch position, but Jamil Byers capable of big throws, and Gardner will be hit with a passive call. Jamil Byers puts him down.
Stand. Contact, blue.
Now these two guys are pretty good friends. They're really going to go at it, but I think the ultimate sign of friendship came before the first match. The two of them kneeled down to share a moment of silence with each other. Great respect and concern, and I think love for each other, but it's got to step aside here right now as one of these guys is going to have to make this Olympic team, and one is going to have to watch. Hard-tier position. Jamil Byers locked up in a gut wrench. Really low on the hips. He can't get much lower and still be legal. Rulon crawling a little bit forward. Nice, powerful. Well, will he get one? Yes, appreciation for the 1-and-1 reversal. No confirmation. Yes, he does.
It's a 1-and-1 call. He did get the lift, so he gets that appreciation point. Gardner gets the reversal. Give Gardner credit. He was picked up, and sure he hasn't felt that since Alexander Karelin did it to him.
Can you imagine the power, though? Those are big men, 264 plus right now after the weigh-ins 2 days ago. So there's no question that took a lot of energy, and he's pretty explosive right now. He's into this one. He's not going to give it up easy. Jamil Byers really coming after Rulon Gardner. 1-1. 3 officials. There'll be a little hesitation in the point. 2 of the 3 must agree before points go on the scoreboard. So you saw us wait a little bit before we got confirmation of the 1-1 scoring by all the officials. 36 seconds remaining here in the first 3-minute period.
And Byers is using motion here. Normally he's very, very deliberate, but feeling the need right now in the situation he's caught in, down 1-1, and Gardner, nearly got behind him. No points. And you can see Byers' aggressiveness up a notch. Normally it's Gardner stepping to the opponent.
And we got 13 seconds to go, so this first period is winding down. We've expended some energy, but we haven't really seen any distance created between these two great champions. 1-1 right now. And there it is. We've got more great Greco-Roman wrestling coming your way. We'll be back in a moment.
They took their first match into overtime, folks.
It can think for itself, strike fear in the hearts of hackers, and laugh in the face of disaster. It can transform itself, grow into whatever the future demands, work virtually anywhere, and propel entire companies, industries, and economies forward. Can your network do this? It can if it's designed by the world's networking company, AT&T.
Ladies and gentlemen, the race for president of beers has come to an abrupt end. Hi, I'm the Budweiser Donkey. I spoke with the Clydesdale recently, and he told me that Miller is not eligible to run for office in America because they were bought by South African breweries. I said, get out of town. He said, what does that mean? I said, it's an expression. You never heard it? He said, no, I haven't. And then I left. Anyway, the Clydesdales and I will continue to take the high road. It's just another reason Budweiser is the king of beers. I'm the Budweiser Donkey, and I approve this message.
Introducing Visa Extras for small business. It's kind of like finding free stuff at work. Enroll now, and when you use your Visa business card, qualifying purchases earn points for everything from office supplies to travel. Even select NFL tickets. Sign up at visa.com/Visa Extras.
Take your trading to new heights at Power E-Trade. With $9.99 stock and options commissions and introducing per contract fees as low as $1.25. Go from strategy to trade in one click with new customizable complex option chains. If you could get all this, plus our 2-second execution guarantee on the #1 site for active traders, why on earth wouldn't you? Call today for 50 commission-free trades at 1-877-E-TRADE2 or visit getpoweretrade.com.
Check out the latest in U.S. Olympic team gear by logging on to USOlympicShop.com, where your purchase supports America's athletes. USOlympicShop.com. Log on now.
We're back for wrestling, and the Rulon Gardner clan has traveled a long way from Afton, Wyoming, to come out here to support their favorite. There he is. Right now, we're tied 1-1 in what could be the second and deciding match if Rulon wins it to decide this berth on the Olympic team at 264.5 pounds. Jameel Byer in the blue singlet with the Army on the back of it. Rulon Gardner in the red singlet. It's got to be a tough one, Jeff, for one of these great wrestlers to not be on the Olympic team. The emotion goes both ways.
Well, it's an all or none thing, and you have to wait 4 years to make an Olympic team. Both superb heavyweights internationally. McAfari.
Yeah, was Olympic silver medalist. He's been a coach for Rulon all the way back since 1994. First time Rulon wrestled. He says he likes to use his knowledge. Obviously, that's a great guy to have in your corner. He's had a lot of experience himself.
Be ready. Hook, double underhook.
That double underhook won't be that easy to get, though. 2 minutes in the second period. Wow. A lot of power there, Jeff.
Byers picking up the pace. Knocks Gardner down twice now. Coming over the back, but unable to score.
Well, both these wrestlers know what's at stake. Jameel Byers not going down easy here. Rulon Gardner called for passivity. Officials have determined he's not as aggressive, so they give Jameel Byers an opportunity to put him down on the mat, and we'll see what can happen here.
Pay attention. Hands on the back. Now hold it. Back up, back up. Okay, set, red. Contact, Liz. Come on. Contact.
Be ready.
And they get started. Minute and a half to go in the second period.
Watch for Byers to try another lift. Started there, but Gardner's so tough.
And they'll come back to their feet. 1-1. Minute and 14 seconds to go, but it can't end at the end of regulation time unless one of the wrestlers has at least 3 points. Lots of things can occur to decide this match yet, so nothing can be taken for granted. Both these guys hungry to be a part of this USA squad.
Just a big pummel battle now. They're chest to chest. Byers liking this lock. Gardner avoiding the lock a bit here, trying to keep his shoulder low. By doing so, Jameel really can't throw him. They need to get more chest to chest, not shoulder to shoulder.
And Jeff, it doesn't appear that wrist has been a problem for Rulon Gardner. In spite of the surgery and the recovery, it appears like he's really using it full force here.
Oh, there's no problem with his grip strength. Passive call against Byers. And he elects to keep him standing. I have it at 2 passivity calls apiece at the moment. That might come into play if we go through the overtime scoreless here. I think conditioning-wise, Gardner might have a slight edge cardio-wise.
They're going to take it to overtime.
Earlier we had an opportunity to talk to Rulon. We asked him about what motivated him to get back into the Olympic Games.
When I won the gold medal in Sydney, people said, why do you want to go on? I said, why not? It's what I've been doing my whole life. It's what I love. It's what I said I would do. And I'll go out and put everything on the mat and give 100%. And that's what, my preparation and preparing and everything has done and led up to now. And hopefully I'll be able to go out and finish what I started and be able to be successful at the Olympic trials, but then also in Athens this fall.
Byers has to lock first in this clinch. Double over under.
They're locked up.
Byers locked first. The onus is on him to score the point. Once again, you can push your opponent out of bounds. Whoever goes out of bounds first, caution, penalty point. If you break your grip, unlock your hands. Caution, penalty point.
Well, right now, who is close to making the Olympic team? It's all being decided in this clinch. If Rulon wants to finish the journey, he's got to win this one, I think. And if Byers wants to make his own dream come true, he's got to make this work. So we've got 25 seconds to decide what's going to happen.
Now, the clinch was put in by Fila to stimulate scoring. Somebody's going to get a point out of this, and it takes it out of the officials to give an arbitrary ruling.
Byers let go with 11 seconds left in that minute. So now we have 2 minutes and 11 seconds left to see what will happen. Gardner goes ahead 2-1. They stay on their feet. So right now, Jamil Byers really has to make the action go in his favor. Rulon doesn't have to do much.
Now he's got to get a point on the board, and Rulon is so tough late in the match because of his conditioning. He's a superb Greco-Roman wrestler, keeping great position. Byers needs to do everything he possibly can to unbalance Gardner to try and score that point. And if it comes down to a pummel game, Gardner's better at it. Byers is dangerous from the lock if he can get the lock the way he wants it. But having wrestled 19 times, Russ, you got to figure you know each other pretty good.
There's no question about that. It's hard to fool anybody. Minute 10. We will continue to the end of 1 minute unless one of these wrestlers can score 3 points. 50 seconds to go.
You can see how Gardner will not retreat from the center. Tries to keep his back to the center, and that's a smart wrestler. That way you don't get driven out of bounds.
Well, right now, Gardner has this in his hip pocket. He's ahead 2-1. There's 24 seconds. The only chance is for Byers to at least score 1 point to tie it up. Rulon, he's ahead 2-1. Even though he hasn't scored 3, overtime will be over. He has the most points. Byers has to tie it up to be a factor at all in the result of this contest. And this is going to be it. Rulon Gardner is going to make his second Olympic team. He will have a chance to go for another gold medal.
Gardner's ability to pummel. His family looking on and watching all the way from Afton, Wyoming. The respect of the wrestling community here. And just his grit. His unwavering determination. He's got a heart as big as that chest, Russ.
Well, 2 friends went at it. One of them had to win and one of them had to lose. But what a great moment for Rulon Gardner. It's been his dream to get back at it, and he's been a pretty motivated guy. So this is just another step on the way to doing some more great things. We know the guy has strong goals, and he's very good at getting them done. Shares the moment with Matt Ghaffari. Ghaffari's been there before himself. Let's get a look at what happened in this match. Rulon the winner.
Now, Jamil Byers had an opportunity to score him from a passive call, and here he uses so much energy to try and then get that lift. He got an appreciation point, but Gardner got a reversal. It was 1-1. But this is where Gardner excels. What a good lock. Byers broke the lock. That's a point, and that's the way he beat Karelin.
Let's go to Len with our winner.
Well, congratulations. How was that hand?
Hand's actually a little bit sore today, but you know, seeing what it's been through the last
2 months from dislocation to pins to back to, I think 100%. You know, it's a miracle. You know, the good Lord gave me a hand, and I was able to compete today, and that's all I could ask for.
Everything you've been through the last few years, have you surprised yourself that you're going back?
Not really. You know, my family and just my loved ones supporting me, you know, has been, you know, everything to me. To have them here today to support me has been nothing but a miracle for me, and I appreciate every one of them and the love and the passion they have to coming back. So, you know, it's an opportunity we have as Americans to go for our dreams, and this is what my dream was, and I'm just happy I get the opportunity to come back.
It will be extra special with what you've overcome to go back and try to defend your gold medal.
It will be, you know, especially having, you know, Jamil Byers, a world champion right there, who was right in front of me, and that was the first biggest test just to get on the team. You know, the last 2 months just went through, you know, going to being on the team, knowing I was going to make it to I was going to have pins in my hand. There's no way I could wrestle again. And back to, you know, I'm on the team again. I just have to make sure I heal up 100%. I didn't get to come back, and that's what I've been working for the last 4 years.
I can give you a little advice. You might want to stay off snowmobiles, basketball courts, and motorcycles in the next couple of months.
I'm pretty well going to do that. My parents have bought me a bubble, so I think I'll be living in there for the next few months.
Congratulations. See you in Athens.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
And Rulon Gardner does it again. He's made his second Olympic team, and let's take a look at his teammates, Jeff.
Gardner, I'll tell you what, when it comes down to having to win, Rulon Gardner gets the job done. He is an anchor for the Greco team. This is an experienced squad. They will do well in Athens.
And who can forget that matchup with Dennis Hall? One for the ages. Hall, Grunwald, Lowney, Gardner, all returning to the Olympics. Women, any surprises here, Jeff?
This is an experienced squad. All of these have great international experience. Miranda Montgomery, world silver medalists this past September at Madison Square Garden.
And the freestyle team, Kerry McCoy returning to his second Olympics.
McCoy looked awesome. He really has improved. World silver medalist last September. Cale Sanderson making his first Olympic team. The Sanderson saga continues.
Well, what a great day of wrestling. Lots of exciting action. Don't forget, next Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern and Pacific, it's the U.S. Olympic Diving Trials. For Jeff Blatnick and Len Berman, I'm Russ Hellickson saying goodbye from Indianapolis. We'll see you in Athens. This has been a presentation of USA Sports. From the U.S. Olympic Trials to the Olympic Games in Athens, the cable home of the U.S. Olympic team.
Coming up next, a special presentation of the before and afternoon movie, How to Make an American Quilt on USA. Presented by Koresh Shimmering Body Wash.
Marianne, you are a gal on the go.
Aren't I, though? Busy.
But do you take time to yourself? TLC?
Actually, I try to, and it's hard when you're busy. And like our guest today, Yolanda, she's a full-time college student and has a part-time job.
Yeah, she isn't high speed. The last thing on her list is her own personal style.
Yeah, and we want her to find her inner sensuality, like
right.
her very good friend Cheyenne does. Let's hear from Cheyenne.
Yolanda never takes time out for herself. She's always last on her list. She wears t-shirts, raggedy jeans, flip-flops, and her hair is always in a ponytail. Horrible. I would love to see Yolanda in a real hot outfit that shows off her shape, and I would love to see her hair styled. Yolanda, you're so gorgeous. I love you, and I want to see you show what you got.
So, Yolanda, you are on the go. You're a full-time student with a part-time job. Do you sleep? That's all I have to ask.
I do sleep.
Okay, I'm a big fan of sleep, and I'm just concerned.
So am I find the time for that.
Okay, good.
Well, good. But your friend Cheyenne thinks you need a little bit more time for yourself, a little more pampering, right?
Yes.
And we know that every woman needs to take time out for herself with the help of Caress products.
That's right. You ready for this?
I am.
All right, great transformation throughout a great movie. Stick around on Before and Afternoon Movies on the USA.
I'll tell you what happened. But I'd like to say something first, if your aunt will allow me.